this chick, right? And we was cool. Everything was going good. She was doing everything right up until this point. She did everything right. She was bringing plates to the crib. She was doing everything. The sex was good. Like, she was cool as hell. All right. So one day we was out at a public event at a picnic. You was there.
This.
And then she had an issue. It was my event, you know what I'm saying? So I was out showing hostility and shit like that. Not hostility. What is it called?
No, it's not hostility. Hospitality?
Hospitality. There you go. Hostility.
Being violent, motherfuckers.
Right. So I was just showing hospitality and shit, and I was walking people around, making sure they got their food, you know what I'm saying, kicking in and shit like that. But there was one particular young lady who I was having a conversation with that alerted her. Really, her friend pointed it out, and she was already drunk. Her friend pointed out, like, oh, watch him talking to her. He been talking to her for a while, shit like that, which... Personally, like me knowing what I did that, I'm like, I didn't talk to her no longer than I talked to. I was with this person way longer than I was with her. Like, so, like, what's the issue for real? So, but me and the girl talking, we chopping it up, and then the girl who I was dating, she walked up behind me and kind of like fake made a little scene, kind of made a little scene, like, and it was slight, but I'm like, all right, chill out, whatever. And she's like, hey, we need to talk. Well, I'm like, nah, we can talk about it later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll chop it up with you later. And she like, nah, we need to talk right now. I'm like, nah, let's do it later, right? So I'm knowing me and I know how I am. So I'm like, let's do it later. So I walk away. I walk out to go piss. She follow me, catch up with me, and she like go off. She crying, she yelling, she drunk, she going off. Like, you know what I'm saying? And in my mind the whole time, I'm just like, yeah, this is gonna be the last time we talk. Like, I'm not dealing with this shit. And as after that happened, she kept, wondering, after I stopped talking to her and told her like, hey, it's a wrap. She kept like, man, like, I don't feel like that was enough for you to stop talking to me. Like, she just wasn't accepting of me not talking to her for that reason alone. And, I'm just like, hey, it is, she like, oh, you must be talking to somebody else. It must be this, it must be that.
It can never be them.
And I'm like, nah, it's that. Like, it's literally just that. And, she felt like, we didn't have this good situation. It's just one thing happened and it's over with. And I'm like, yeah, but I thought deeper about it recently. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't really about her as much as it was about me and my triggers. And I identified that was a trigger for me. Because when those situations happen, I feel like some guys would turn up, go back and forth with a girl. Some people are like, feel however they feel about it, let it go, talk about it the next day and move forward with a person. But for me, that shit was a deal breaker. And I wanted to identify like why it was a deal breaker. So some of my therapists taught me when I was like in therapy, heavy, like a few years ago was, when you're thinking about triggers, think about who else made you feel this way, who was the first person that made you feel this way, and what was the first time, if you can remember, that you felt this way, right? So in the moment when she was going off, I felt anxious, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of like heart beating a little bit, maybe like, kind of like, getting hot and shit like that. And I felt embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? More so than anything. And I think back about the times, the first person made me feel like that was my mom. And I think back about the times it happened. It was quite a few times, but some of the ones that stand out to me was my ribbon pinning. My mom slapped me in front of everybody. Well, I felt like everybody saw the shit. I don't know. Maybe nobody saw the shit, but you know how that shit feel in the moment. But I cracked a joke, and it wasn't like inappropriate, super crazy shit. It was just, I guess, the timing. I guess it was a time where everybody's supposed to be quiet, and I had cracked a joke, and she slapped me and shit like that. And then she slapped me again for a different reason. I can't remember why, at my luncheon. Like, so it's 8th grade ribbon pinning, 8th grade luncheon. And then nothing happened at the graduation, but after graduation, this is the most memorable. We went to Applebee's, like to eat. And when we got there, my girlfriend in 8th grade, her family was there too. So they wanted to put the tables together.
Right.
I felt like that shit was a bad idea off top. Like, I'm like, nah. But that was the younger version of me that didn't know how to speak up for myself yet, didn't know how to advocate for myself, shit like that. So I'm just like, okay, cool, whatever. So we all end up sitting together and we, everything cool. And they bring the drinks out. I asked for an orange pop or whatever. They bring the drinks out. I drink my pop damn near as soon as I got it. Shit was cool. They bring the food out. Before I even got a chance to say anything, my mama just went the fuck off. Like, you better not ask for another motherfucking pop. You done drunk your whole pop before your food came. You better not ask for shit else. She just went the fuck off, G. I was embarrassed as fuck, G. Like, cause it's like the girl I'm talking to right here, her whole family right here. We don't even know them like that for real. I was embarrassed as fuck. And that was like my relationship with women making a scene with me early in life. And that's why when that shit happens now, it's like I don't give a fuck who you are. I'm never talking to you again. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that has more to do with me than with them. But I do think that it's important for us to be able to identify our triggers and explore like why do things that happen make us feel the way they happen. When are we really triggered versus like some shit that we just don't like?
If you lazy, you waking up at fucking 3 o'clock in the afternoon and shit like that,
Popping bottles,
you're setting the tone for everybody because you're the leader.
popping pills,
That's just what comes with being a man.
popping bitch ass niggas.
I don't want nobody making decisions over my life except me. Not a woman, not a judge, not an officer, not no motherfucking body.
When them bullets hit him up, look like son had a seizure. Run out, give it up, you know the procedure. I be sipping Jack and honey.
I don't think nothing can make me feel like a man. I don't think nothing can make me not feel like a man.
Chains on my collar.
You can't take the benefits of being a man without the responsibilities.
Give you niggas halos on God in the king.
Got dead another week, man. I'm Terry Roseland.
I'm Jones.
How you feeling today, bro?
I'm cool today. Today, I'm cool. Am I? Nah, not really.
Damn, what happened, nigga?
Nah, it ain't nothing crazy. I had just felt earlier today overstimulated.
Okay.
And it's funny. I'm an extrovert. You know what I'm saying? So that normally doesn't happen, but it was just like a series of events where a bunch of responsibilities was all in my face at once.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck is it? Like, man, that's a lot type shit.
For sure.
It's so funny, like how we went adulting. It was pretty much adult shit. My son, he getting ready to, he in 8th grade, going to high school next year. He want to go to a certain school. And at his track meet today, I was talking to some of his like track coaches and stuff. And based off the district that we in, they like, yeah, he got, if this is y'all district, obviously it is, he got to go to this school. And that school is just like trash or whatever. And he don't want to go there. And even the teachers was like, yeah, that's not the best option or whatnot. So I'm like, okay. And then the district that he wants to be in, the school is good, but in the area, it's no places that I would live or that I would want to live.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like crazy, like project type conditions, but just the standard of living is just not at mine. Right. And I would have to be in that district for him to go to that school.
This nigga stay out. I ain't even gonna go there.
Yeah.
This nigga got a driveway. I ain't gonna go there though. Go ahead. Nigga got a Picasso, yeah. Go ahead though.
But yeah, nah, so the district, you know what I'm saying, that we currently in, he can't go there, and for him he wants to go to that school,
right?
But I don't want to move in that area,
right,
or whatnot. So I did come up with some. I told him, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna look up, because I had places in mind where we was gonna move where the cribs was nice. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna show him pictures of, you know what I'm saying, where we can stay. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put all of the pictures in there, the ones I like, and the one where he would have to live so he can go to that school. Mm-hmm. And that picture versus the other ones don't compare.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, so where would you want to live? And he gonna X that shit out immediately versus the other options. So he can like, yeah, that one. I'm like, okay, if you go there, you got to go to this high school, So right. I was just thinking of ways of how I can tell him and shit. And then
so basically gonna gaslight him.
That is definitely what that sounds.
Wow, that sounds like I'm gaslighting him.
I was just talking shit.
I'm like, fuck. We gotta look up the definition again. We probably using that word wrong.
I'm fucking with you.
But no, then on top of that, just career stuff. I'll be transparent with y'all. The connection that I had to the tech company that I was finna get ready to fucking work for.
Yeah.
I was talking to that nigga for a year.
Yeah.
His job had layoff. They laid off 6,000 people, and he was one of them. So it's like a blessing in disguise too. Because what if I would have left earlier and joined that company? I would have for sure been out the door. I'm the newest nigga there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now starting from scratch with that, and it's just, a lot of adult shit. So overstimulated, that's all.
Absolutely, man. Last night I was out, right? I went out to eat for my birthday and shit, right?
Last night, me and my dogs was hanging out.
Yeah, we was at Pravari,
Okay.
and they got a new spot. You seen a new spot?
The Speakeasy? Was you in the nighttime spot?
Yeah, I'm saying a whole restaurant. Like,
Oh, yeah, I've
they
been
had
over
the
there.
first one, yeah. So it's dope or whatever. So the waitress came out, and she knew of me and things like that. So
Was she short,
nah,
brown skin? Okay.
nah. So she came out, and she knew of me or whatever. But I'm on a date,
Mm-hmm.
so it was cool. But she asked what I was like, what drinks do you prefer? I mean, like, no, like, which drink would you suggest that I get?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, what type of liquor you drink? I drink whiskey. She's like, okay, cool. She said, whatever. She left. She came back with 2 shots. Like, I heard you like whiskey. She came back with 2 shots. I'm thinking it's like for me and the girl I'm with. And so she put the shots on the table and was like, oh yeah, I heard you like whiskey. So, let's take a shot. And she like handed me one and kept the other. And I'm like, wait, what? But the shit was happening like so fast that I just said, fuck it, and took the shot. And I'm like, bro, that was wild, right? And like, so I apologize. So like, I shouldn't have took that shot. I should have been like, hey, give my girl a shot, whatever. But the shit just, like, I just knew the shots was for both of us. And like the way she just like, oh yeah, let's take the shot. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? It was so weird. It was so like, it was wild. And but she funny as fuck though.
Did you know her?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I know who you talking about.
No,
my
we never met.
I know all the waitresses up in there. All the
Yeah, we never met. But why do you know? Bitch.
them the same ones. They're my homegirls.
Right. So we took the shot or whatever. All right, cool. So me and her get to talking about it, and she funny, so she not like super tripping over
The
it.
one you want to date with?
Yeah,
Okay,
but
cool,
we
cool.
also have some like she not from here. She from New York.
Oh,
Yeah,
she was here.
yeah.
Okay.
So our relationship is a little different
Mm-hmm.
because we kind of met on that type of time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because of the podcast and shit like that. But we went places like we was in LA. We went a few places. A few people knew me out there. So her perception of me is probably not what exactly it is in real life.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happened that we in LA and people know me from the podcast. She like, damn, your shit, like, da da da. She came to Chicago. She was meeting people that wasn't around me. They like, oh yeah, I know that nigga, like shit like that. So her perception is like it's probably a little inflated compared to what it is. So that experience was like, she was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'm like, but I know that she's dated rich niggas, famous niggas and shit like that. So I'm like, you've experienced shit like this before. I'm probably sure on a way bigger scale considering the niggas that you've dated before. And she like, yeah, I have. So I'm like, what you just expect that I'm just like some random ass nigga that nobody supposed to know me? Like, what the fuck you mean? So she was gonna respond and she was like, never bad. I was like, what you mean? She's like, I want to say something, but I don't know how to make it not offensive. And I was like,
Hey, she was gonna humble the fuck out of you.
no, I'm like, well, we super cool though.
I know,
like,
I
we
get it.
super cool.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm like, nah, go ahead. And she was like, well, I know that they're doing it because you're cute and not because you have money. Bro, that shit was funny as fuck. I'm like, wait, what? Like, I'm like, all right. I'm like, all right, I'm offended. Motherfucker, like,
All right, hold on.
I'm like, what the fuck, G? I'm like, what the fuck?
That's funny.
At least I know you like me for me, motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah.
That
you
shit
know,
was crazy. That shit was crazy.
You gotta cover her, gang. That's funny. Look, everybody in the studio like, I like her. She was at the party?
She was there, yeah.
We all know exactly who he's talking about.
I mean, I know who you're talking about, but I didn't. I think people should. Wait a minute. Yes, I did. For sure. Okay. I didn't realize that was New York though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, calling on New York is great. But I mean, for the podcast, it's cool.
For sure. I want to throw a name out there.
All right, let's go, man. Let's do a voicemail.
Sorry.
What the hell y'all doing?
They tripping back there.
Sorry. Yeah. That's hilarious. That's wrong. We'll say that.
All right, we doing a voicemail. Let's go.
Hi, Terry.
Let's try again.
My name is Laura. I don't know if this is anonymous or not, but I'll give you my name. I've been listening to your podcast probably for like 2 years now, but I need some advice. I have been seeing this guy since November of last year, so it's almost going to be a year soon. Nothing was ever made like exclusive. It was very much just like casual hookup. And I mean, obviously, like I knew there were feelings. He knew there were feelings there. Like it, obviously we call feelings, but there was nothing that was ever exclusive. It was more of a go with the flow, ride the wave, like let's see what happens type of thing. About 6 months in of me just sleeping with him, and I'm assuming he was just sleeping with me, but let's just say he was. I ended up sleeping with my kid's dad. That we had not slept together for 7 years, and it happened. It was one of those things, and I immediately regretted it. I didn't say anything to my situationship, and until recently, he asked me if I had slept with anybody else besides him in these months, and I was truthful and honest, and I did tell him that I did sleep with my kid's dad after 7 years of not sleeping with him, and it was a mistake, and I wanted to be honest about it, and he cut me off, and I was like, I don't fuck with that, like, I'm sorry, like, we can be friends, but like, no, like, and in between me sleeping with my kid's dad and him finding out about it 4 or 5 months later, I had met his family, he had met my family, like, I met his kids, he met my kids, so I don't know, like, what to do, what to think, I guess. Like, he's very, like, stern. I'm like, I don't fuck with that, like, no, like, I know how sex works, like, and I'm like, you never told me you wanted to be with me, it was never exclusive, like, I get why you'd be mad, like, I would be mad too if it was the other way around, but I would also give you some grace because nothing was ever set in stone, solid, like, we never said yes to each other in that way. It was just an assumption that we were only sleeping with each other. So if you could just give me some advice, I'd really appreciate it. I need a man's perspective. You guys give great advice, and I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys can help me out. Bye.
Damn, Laura.
Oh, it was Laura. I thought it was Dora. Okay. Yeah.
Take the floor, my guy.
That's what happens when you go with the flow. Like that's what happens when you go with the flow instead of like setting the sail, setting the direction that you want to go in. There's no rules. Think of the ocean. You throw a fucking bottle in the ocean, that shit just gonna go any which way or whatever. You was going about this backwards too. Like when you at the end when you were saying that, yeah, he met my family, I met his kids, and my brain instantly went back to y'all didn't even set to see if y'all was exclusive yet. Like situationships, meeting your family and kids, and like this is the wild west, your situation right here. So there was no control over it, and we don't necessarily want to control things, but you can, have a desired outcome. But you saying that it's been 7 years since I slept with him. He don't care about that. You slept with him recently. I don't give a fuck about them 7 years. I didn't know you been in. You know what I'm saying? So, and also it is because it's the baby daddy. I think if it was a random nigga, he probably would be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? He had probably extended a little bit more grace, considering the fact that, you know what I'm saying, that there was no boundary set. Like, he do have a right to feel how he feel, but that's what happens where shit just, you're not putting not a name on things, but just telling a motherfucker where you expect to go with the relationship, showing, voicing your expectations or your desired outcome. I think desired outcomes sound better than your expectations. Voicing your desired outcome, and you could be able to control that type of shit versus if y'all following like a mutual path towards whatever end goal y'all both mutually agreed on. So that was just all over the place. You kind of smoke.
I agree with everything you said. I also feel like when you in a go with the flow situation, that shit is cool for like 2 months maybe, but after that you just waiting for something to go wrong to stop talking to the person. Cause like, why y'all not saying like, let's commit or let's figure out what, or we're not gonna commit and we just gonna keep this shit casual forever or indefinitely. But when you got feelings and y'all meeting each other but y'all not saying let's be exclusive, at the end of the day you're just waiting for something to go wrong. Like y'all were waiting for this to happen. Cause why the fuck weren't y'all stepping forward? I'm pretty sure if they had some type of commitment or established some type of exclusivity, that might not have happened. Like she might have had the opportunity to sleep with dude but had a reason to not do it. Because at the end of the day, like, you wanting to have sex with somebody you're attracted to that you had sex with before is normal.
Yeah.
We don't act like we don't have like temptation and urges towards people that we had sex with before. It's just like you understanding your situation and why you shouldn't do this and not doing it, right? But you didn't feel like in that moment that you ain't had shit going on that made you feel like, nah, let me not do this, because y'all didn't set nothing. And that's partially on him because he a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like as a nigga, we supposed to be initiating those type of conversations. We supposed to be leading the way. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the type of time y'all was on. So y'all was just kind of waiting for something to go wrong. The other side of it is, this is a nigga that's gonna be in your life for the rest of your life, and that's why he not forgiving you for the shit, and that's why he's standing on it. And I get that. You know what I'm saying? I probably would do the same thing with it being a nigga that's gonna be around forever. A nigga that I'm supposed to be cool enough to come to the kid's birthday party. I gotta be around this nigga if we on some healthy shit for real. Yep. Now if we on some unhealthy shit and it's like your kids have a birthday party, I can't come because your baby daddy gonna be there and all that weird shit. That's kind of what you setting up when that type of thing happen. The other thing is, and it's gonna sound crazy coming from me, but honestly, I don't feel like you had to tell them who you fucked. Like, we not exclusive. Yeah. So you saying like, oh, I did sleep with somebody else is enough because y'all let us fucking. I'm pretty sure y'all fucking raw. Especially I introduced to each other kids. I'm pretty sure y'all fucking raw. So it's like you did owe him the explanation of I had sex with somebody else. You owed him that. You should have told him that. But if y'all don't have no type of commitment, you didn't have to I don't think details. You had to tell. I didn't think you had to go into detail. You feel me? I like transparency. I value transparency. I don't think it's nothing wrong with it. I appreciate it, but I don't think that shit is. You're not obligated to be that transparent when I'm not even offering you no commitment. I'm not offering you nothing but sex and a good time. So I can't be obligated for you to be I can't like require you to be transparent about what's going on in your life. And again, honesty is you asking me a question and me answering it. Transparency is me telling you the whole story. You don't owe him the whole story. And I don't think you should have told him that shit. Now, if y'all was together, then Did you suck his dick?
You gotta tell him.
All that. But yeah, that's that on that, man. But I mean, just moving forward, it's just learning from that situation. If it come back around, be careful that he ain't just trying to get back at you type shit. If he come back around, he give you a second chance. I would be cautious of that too. You know what I'm saying? But moving forward with whoever you date next, just shit. Get the commitment before you give the transparency and all the details and shit.
One thing I noticed with women when it come to like go with the flow situations, number one, like if you fucking with a guy and y'all going with the flow, after a certain amount of time, if he don't initiate any type of exclusivity or proposing that y'all go to the next level, he don't like you like that. I'm not saying he don't like you at all, but he just don't see you like that. And number two, when you're going with the flow, ladies, y'all be scared to say, what are we doing? Because you don't want to quote unquote rock the boat. Like you feel like if I ask what's going on, what we doing, you feel like the situation gonna end and you don't want it to end, but you also in limbo with where it is because you want to know. You gotta, if you're scared to be vulnerable with somebody you're sleeping with, that's like backwards as fuck. So you should ask, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you want to know. So,
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, man. News. Narcan. Narcan is a drug. I'm sorry. Narcan is something that you use for when someone's overdosing and you can just like shoot it up their nose to stop overdosing. So they got Narcan at all like public libraries in Chicago. I feel like everybody should get one. Yeah. So it's basically if somebody's around you overdosing, it's something that you can use to shoot up their nose to like stop the overdose.
Why is it in a library?
So people can have access to it. So they want everybody to have one because all these kids on fucking fentanyl and shit. Yeah. So it's in the library for us to be able to just go get for free. And they just passed a law to where it's legal. There's no legal ramifications for helping someone that's overdosing. So before, if you try to help somebody that's overdosing and they end up dying, they can sue the shit out of you.
It's on you.
Now, using Narcan, they can't. Like, so they took everything out of it that could harm someone who's not. So let's say you think somebody overdosing, but they not, and you shoot it up their nose. It won't do nothing to them. Like, it won't have no bad effect on them. But if they are overdosing, they will save their life. So since they made the medicine that way, they also, you know, from a legal standpoint, made it to where like you can't be, you know, sued or anything or liable if you try to help someone that's overdosing using Narcan.
When you said that, you know, my brain went. I think the movie, it might be Dirty Dancing with John Travolta.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when she was ODing and he stabbed her in the chest with the needle and she woke up?
I hope that shit don't ever happen to me.
Yeah, that's how I'm like Narcan. That wasn't Dirty Dancing?
No.
What's that? Grease. That was Grease.
Grease was John Travolta.
And
Dirty Dancing.
no, and the girl from Kill Bill. I think that was her. John Travolta.
It sounds like an action movie.
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman, the chick that Chuck came to fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, she was ODing. So when you say Narcan, I'm thinking it's needles in libraries, and somebody overdose, you stab them in the chest and they're gonna be good. So yeah,
no. You just shoot it up their nose. That's all. That's all, man. You got anything else on the news?
Nah.
No news? Cool. What else we got, man? It's an event coming up October 20th called Stronger Together. It's a dating event. It's being put on by some Chicago-based therapists who are dedicated to strengthening relationships in the Chicago area, man. So shout out to Brittany at BringItBrat _ on Instagram. Y'all can follow her. Brittany Rogers, y'all can follow her for more information on this event. But I think it's gonna be dope, man.
A therapist who power lifts. Shout out to you, Brittany, on your weightlifting competition. You actually competed. Yeah. And that shit raw as it. If you look at her, you don't think she's strong as what she is. She squatting shit that grown men can't squat. I'd be impressed as fuck seeing her do that shit.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Yeah. So just some information on this. Says this isn't just another seminar. It's a celebration of love and a space to build long-lasting bonds. All right. Brittany and I, the guy who's throwing it, can't wait to welcome you with open arms. So mark your calendars and get ready for a day full of breakthroughs and powerful moments. Yeah, man. You gotta.
That's fire.
Yeah, go get some love, man.
October
20th. Go get some love. Is that Sweetest Day?
The day after.
The day after Sweetest Day. Yeah. So if you ain't got no sweetie, go get you one, man.
No, that's for couples.
They don't. Oh, the event is for couples.
Yeah.
My bad.
That's definitely for couples.
We're gonna redo that commercial because I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about right now. All right, but I do know that if you're gonna be putting your fingers in some coochie, that you need to. I was gonna try to make that rhyme. I do know if you're gonna be putting your fingers in some coochie, that your nails need to be on point, man. Your nails need to be clean. They need to be trimmed. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta go see the lady. Tell them who the lady is, Reggie.
The lady?
Yeah.
Wait, it's OG the Gent. She don't be liking for us to use her real name. But yeah, you gotta see OG the Gent. Follow her on Instagram. That's who we all go to get our nails and toes cleaned up and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't like saying done. Like we go get them cleaned up.
Yeah. So that is at the _O_gent on Instagram. Definitely go see her. She specializes in men's nails, men only. You know what I'm saying? Ladies, y'all can keep fucking whoever y'all fucking with. But for my guys, she specializes in men's nails. She's gonna take care of your shit. She gonna buff your shit. How your shit looking right for weeks. If you don't like polishing all that glossy shit, nigga like me, I ain't putting all that glossy shit on my nails. Yeah. So if you don't like polishing all that glossy shit, then you know, she'll still get you right. Have them joints clean, buffed up, looking good.
If you ask for no chips, she might look at you sideways, but she'll do it for you.
Yeah. You be coloring niggas' nails? You ain't never done D-Wade shit? Yeah, so she ain't coloring your shit, nigga. All right. Topic, let's do it. So when it comes to identifying triggers, when it comes to being emotionally intelligent, healing, all the shit that we talk about, doing the work, all the shit that we talk about, I feel like sometimes we could get in our own way as men when it comes to getting in touch with our emotions because we value stoicism so much, being stoic, being strong and all of these things, but it's like it could be counterproductive to our growth in an emotional space. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to feel things and we want to be stoic, but how much does being stoic kind of make you ignore how you feel? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like how much do being stoic make you say like, you know, you obviously you don't want to show it too much, especially publicly, but how much are we just kind of putting it aside as well and not dealing with it
I think I gotta,
for the sake of remaining a man?
yeah. I think I gotta. I was stoic before I knew what it was. Like,
Right.
it was just like in my personality where I don't react off of a lot of shit. But when it comes to how me being stoic affects with how I'm actually feeling, I do, and I probably still do this from time to time. But I'll feel something, whether I like it, whether I don't, whether it makes me uncomfortable. I'll feel it and I'll deal with it like internally, but I won't necessarily address it.
Yeah.
I won't pick it apart. Like how you picked apart that shit with that happened with old girl at the picnic. That was months ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you said you was recently thinking about it and you went and dug and addressed it, found out where it was from, etc. I could probably do that more. I should do that more.
Right.
Versus I'm just stoic about it and I feel how I feel, whatever, not show it. And I don't need to really it don't need I guess it don't need to come out, but I won't address it. So that's an issue.
Okay, why you feel like you haven't done that? Just because you haven't, it wasn't a thought for you?
It wasn't a thought. It don't
Okay.
be. I won't dwell on it. Now, if it's something that's I don't want to say bothering me because I'm not sure if it was bothering you, but it wasn't like a reoccurring thought to where it was bringing back to my attention to make me think. And I guess over the years, I've basically ignored shit so much that's a pattern of mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll be like, I ain't gonna crash out over nothing, but I should address shit more.
Yeah, I think it's important to realize that the space that we in is kind of imaginary when it comes to us not being able to express ourselves as men, right? Because at the end of the day, like especially younger, you don't want to express certain stuff because it's gonna be looked at like you soft, like you weak, like you this, like you that, and people might make those comments. But when you think about it, everybody's going through the same shit. It's just who gonna say it first.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I've been fortunate enough to kind of just say fuck it and start expressing myself and create a circle of people that's normal to us. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm able to do it more and do it more freely and not give a fuck how people feel about it because I got enough support behind it. But at the same time, my friend group, when I started doing it, was people who I didn't think would receive it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just my imagination thinking they wouldn't receive it that way. You know what I'm saying? So I think as guys, a lot of times we put too much pressure on ourselves and we just assume that everybody around us is not going to be receptive to us being emotional about some shit or us expressing some shit. When in reality, you just might be the nigga who make it easier for everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we all feeling this way. We all going through this shit and we all experiencing the same thing.
How many times we didn't say some shit on the pod where it's vulnerable, whether we thought it was embarrassing, or whether we was ashamed, and we posted shit, and this niggas in the comments like, man, bro, me too. You know what I'm saying? You was just we were just the niggas to say it first, so now it's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's okay. Even with my therapist, I don't I used to do this with my first of all, my first therapist, paying to lie is insane. I saw bro say that shit. Lamar, he had made a post about seeing a therapist, and he was like, "Yeah, I was lying to my first therapist." I'm like, "Why the fuck we all lied to the first one?" But
you was lying to your first one?
I definitely lied to my first therapist.
I never lied to therapy. That's crazy.
And paying to lie is insane.
That's like lying to the doctor. Like, do it hurt? Like, nah. You don't even got to fix that, bro.
Literally what it is.
Now you leaving the doctor fucked up. Like, what?
But not like, even now, like with my therapist, it'll take me, because if I feel embarrassed about something, ashamed or uncomfortable in whatever way, let's just say I feel a way today and I got therapy tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm 9 times out of 10 not bringing that shit up tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I will bring it up eventually. You know what I'm saying? It took me, not, and when I say eventually, not super far down the line, but maybe the next time I talk to her, because we see each other bi-weekly, I'll be like, hey, last week when so I'm still working through being vulnerable. I'm not letting it stop me, and I'm not keeping it no more, but now it just take me maybe a little bit more time to get it out.
How old is your therapist?
She is, I think, like 35, 36.
How attracted to you are her on a scale of 1 to 10?
I really don't look at it like that.
Okay. So I mean just like objectively though.
Objectively?
Yeah.
She would probably, I hope she don't see this. She'd probably be like
you're not attracted to her.
like 5, 6, you know what I'm saying?
You a hit. No, I'm just fucking. No, I say that because like I think if you're attracted to your therapist, if you feel like your therapist is attractive, I'm not gonna say you're attracted to her, but you feel like she's attractive. There's certain shit you're not gonna want to say to an attractive woman, like period. Like you're just not. Even if you're not on shit.
Why are
with
you
her.
asking me this?
Like, yeah, even if you're not on shit with her, it's just the fact that she young, she your age, she's somebody who if y'all didn't meet on these terms, y'all could have dated if y'all would have met in the bar somewhere. Right. You're not gonna call. I call my therapist and be like, "Gee, I've been beating my dick too much. I don't know what the fuck going on. like I must be tripping. I'm stressed. I don't even know what I'm stressed about. What's up?" Yeah. That's how I talk to my therapist.
For sure.
I'm not attracted to her. If she was like fine as hell, I probably wouldn't be calling her saying shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's like, you know, we talk about going to therapy.
You should have just asked me, am I attracted to my therapist? Why you go down the whole?
Because I didn't know how you was. I didn't know if you was gonna answer it the way I wanted you to answer it.
You can be said.
Oh man, but because I didn't want you to feel like I was saying like you're literally attracted to her, like you want to smash, like, but like is she attractive? Like, because you know that's the thing. Like, nigga, we mature enough to see somebody that look good and not be. And it just not mean nothing to us. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I asked that. But yeah, being able to be 100% honest with your therapist is definitely important. I think that also we in a unique bind, right? Because of the intersection of everything we got going on as far as being men. So any man can listen to this podcast and get something away from it when it comes to identifying triggers, dealing with your emotions. When you add being black on top of that, it's a different ball game because we got a different set of issues. When you add the trauma a lot of us experience growing up in impoverished areas, it's a different ball game, right? Because you got gangsterism, which is a whole nother, like you got men that's stoic and you know we gonna be calm and we not gonna woo, but then you got this other shit that we grew up on that we learned through rap music of how to identify ourselves as men and how to address things as men. And in the hood, it's just like everything is violence, tough shit, all of that. And that makes it even more of an uphill battle for us.
The culture is not credited enough. I think so. It's not credited enough to how young men act and respond to things and all of this. When I say culture, just like our black culture. So with you being stoic and also with you being black and from the hood and from the culture, you will, culture said you look weak if you do X, Y, Z. Yeah. So you're not only thinking about, you know what I'm saying, the emotions that you're feeling, you thinking about how people look at you because you're feeling these emotions too. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's going to dictate how you respond to them. That's going to dictate how you act. Like if I think that if I express myself and say my feelings is hurt right now and my guy's going to, you know what I'm saying, talk shit or women going to look at me as soft, I'm going to hide this. Yeah. And the unhealthy thing is you hide it and you never address it and it piles up. And that's how niggas, you know what I'm saying, usually crash out or make a bad decision because it's, you know, it's piling up. Yeah. So considering the fact that, you know, we come from where we come from, we dealt with what we dealt with, and just normal, and on top of just being a normal man, I think it's way more pressure added onto it.
I think so too, man. As you say that, I'm thinking like, when you think about being stoic and you think about the shit we learned growing up, all the tough shit, it don't even really match because you kind of learn to be reactive, which is the opposite of stoic. You kind of learn that if somebody say something to you, you got to turn up. It's almost like marketing, right? Like if we in the lunchroom, we in 6th grade and niggas playing like neck respect and I ain't playing, niggas slap me in the back of my neck. That's like marketing for any nigga in here can slap me in the back of my neck. Right. So if this nigga slap me on the back of my neck, I got to do something about it to show niggas, other niggas, that they can't slap me on the back of my neck. This could be my homie. You know what I'm saying? Like I could be cool with this nigga. It's just the fact that like, if we was at the crib, I probably wouldn't even have a problem with this right now. But the fact that shit happened in front of all these people, we on stage right now, we got to perform. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the opposite of being stoic.
We on stage right now, we got to perform.
Yeah, like and I think that's what makes it so difficult for us. You know what I'm saying? Because the masculinity, that's really not even like a masculine response. I ain't gonna call it a feminine response. I don't think it's that either. But I don't think that that's the most masculine thing, to be reactive as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta, if a nigga say something to me, if a nigga do something, nigga step on my shoe, I gotta turn up on this nigga. It's just like, it's too much. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's hyper masculinity.
Facts. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Like niggas be ready to kill over like the dumbest shit, you know? And I'll say this all the time.
Because of how others perceive it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If let's just say perfect example. Let's say that you and your guy who they smacked you in the back of the neck, y'all in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
And you gonna feel like, okay, I gotta put hands on you to show all these other motherfuckers that you can't do that.
Yeah.
Same situation, but different environment.
Yeah.
Let's say, for whatever, you in a room, same kids, same age, you in a room full of white kids. You're not gonna feel that same need to, you know what I'm saying? You fuck around, laugh it off, hey bro, stop playing, but you're not gonna react the same because you don't feel like they think you soft because you let that happen.
Exactly.
Culture, now I have to protect my reputation. Now I have to show that I'm not a bitch or I'm not this. So our environment, culture, all that shit, it just add on to how we react, respond, talk, think. It got a hold on us in a negative way. And kids is making bad decisions because they don't want people to be, they don't want to be perceived as, you know, something less than what they are or what they think they are.
Absolutely, man. I remember at Simeon, like my freshman year, I got into a fight with a nigga that was way bigger than me over a fucking pencil. Like the nigga took my pencil and put it on his desk and like didn't say shit. Like he just like tried to hold me on the pencil type shit. And like I probably couldn't identify this at the moment. I didn't want to fight this nigga at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was nothing in me that wanted to fight this nigga. But he was older though too. He was like a couple grades ahead of me. That nigga, it was like art class, so it was like all type of grades in that, and like he had this jacket on. I think he might have been a senior because they had like a little clique and they used to wear these jackets. I think the nigga might have been a senior. He was big as shit though. I didn't want to fight this nigga at all, bro. But I kind of felt like the way they was moving and the way I already seen them moving, like if this nigga think he could take my pencil at school, they ain't gonna be trying to take my coat. You feel me? So I gotta do something about this shit right now. Like you feel me? And I tried to take the pencil back and we got to it and that nigga was throwing me around the room. Shit was crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but to say, I didn't go. Like at the same time.
That's
like,
all that matters.
And that's all that kind of matters. It's like you ain't gonna fuck with the nigga who, you know, you might, but you ain't gonna be as willing to. You looking for a nigga who don't want to fight. Like when you after school, they want to point him out, knock him out, and take nigga shit. They kind of looking for niggas they either into it with or a nigga who they know ain't gonna do shit. You know what I'm saying?
And another thing that's probably it should be deeply ingrained in men is in that situation. Yeah, you the bully, but you see this nigga is willing to fight you every time. After so many times and not that many, you're gonna have a respect for him. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
Leave that nigga alone. He all right.
Yeah, but it still go back to the fact of like, you know, just how we taught to react to things. Even if it was a girl, like a girl could, you know, go off on you in class, treat the shit out you.
Now you gotta call her a bitch.
If you say, you know what, if you on some stoic shit and you say I'm gonna be the bigger man, you don't get no credit for that shit. You don't get no credit for not getting into it with the girl. You don't get no credit for being like, you know, that's a woman. I ain't gonna disrespect you, sweetheart. I'm a woo. You don't get no niggas. I'm like, hey, they treated your lame man. Like, you don't get no credit for that shit. Like, so when you look at like the black community, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know what it is in other communities. I'm just talking about the black community. I don't want to make it seem like we're the only ones who deal with this shit. And because white kids might be doing the same shit. I don't know. But when it comes to us, you know, it's kind of hard to be a solid man. Like just the way we grow up and the shit that we talk. It's hard to be a solid
young man like that. The type of shit that we talking about and the way we like teaching, like especially like with our with the young men, the mentors, the programs we got with the young boys, like they're not gonna really benefit from what we teaching them until they a little older. Cause it's not respected right now in y'all environment. Yeah. Like you got, you know, women and kids. You got kids with their frontal brain not fully developed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So the men that we're teaching you to be, we're planting seeds for later on. You know what I'm saying? That later on, when you more mature and older and you dealing with women that's also more, now you're going to be respected and looked at as like you a solid dude. This is a well-rounded young man. Right now, you got to bite the bullet. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a cool thing to be, you know, a stoic, well-rounded, emotionally intelligent young man. You're not going to get the acknowledgement or recognition until you get older. It is what it is.
That's a powerful thing. When I deal with my mentees and their moms and stuff, like I got a couple of them that'll be like, you know, like you've been working with him for 2 months and he ain't getting better yet. I feel like you ain't really doing nothing. I'm like, this shit not a over. Like, first of all, you got us here. Like, let's start there. I can't undo in 2 months what you did for 16 years. Let's start there. First of all. Second of all, these are tools. These aren't like I'm not here to like make him do a 180 today.
This ain't fixing.
You know what I'm saying? Like these are tools that he gonna have in the back of his mind for when he shows up to the job. He'll have the tools. He hasn't shown up to the job yet. Like he's still in alternative school. He's still going through this, going through that. When he get a little older, and it might take him to get in some real trouble, and really feel like damn, because a lot of people don't change until they absolutely have to. So it might take him to catch his first real case and sit down for a minute and be like, damn, I want to do better and I know how to do better because niggas taught me how to do better. Versus him being in that same situation and saying he want to do better and he don't even know where the fuck to start.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm giving him these tools now at 16. I'm not expecting him to do better right now for real. Hopefully he will, but as long as he got these tools, he got them. I know he got these tools. One day he gonna use them.
She want him to wake up tomorrow morning. Good morning, mother.
Yeah, it should be crazy, man.
Would you like some breakfast?
It should be crazy. But outside of that, man, I want to talk about some common triggers for black men.
Okay.
So one of them, the first one I want to talk about is being disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
No one likes to be disrespected. I feel like for black men, it's it just goes to a whole other level.
It's way deeper.
Yeah, disrespect in any form. Like I think we're more willing to fight. I think we're more willing to shoot. I think we're more willing to just exert violence on a higher scale than than anybody else.
Yeah.
Well, Latino niggas is crazy. I'm taking it back. The Latin Kings is fucker. I ain't even gonna compare us to other people, but I feel like I ain't gonna take other races out. I feel like we're too compelled to exert violence when disrespected. And what do you feel like that trigger for a lot of us? If we just speaking in general, we all different, but that's a commonality we have. What do you feel like that trigger might come from?
I feel like some triggers are connected to an underlying belief.
I think they all are. Go ahead.
So if a black man gets disrespected,
yeah,
it's not just at that's like the tip of the iceberg and it gets deeper.
Right.
That could be rooted in him not feeling valued by anybody. That could be rooted in maybe his own limiting beliefs. That could be rooted in how he thinks white people or people in general see him as less than. You know what I'm saying? So it just continues to get deeper and deeper. So when you get disrespected, you're triggering all of these things because he possibly don't know which one it's relating to. So all of them are getting triggered, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's a reaction. It's you instantly get ignited because all of these things that you may believe or may not, but it's still a thought. It's like it's a malfunction. It's like I'm more than. I don't know how they could respond, but it gets deeper.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna keep going back to this because I plan to talk about it later in the show. But I think it has to do a lot with emotion that we don't talk about a lot called powerlessness.
Oh, okay.
And I ain't gonna go too much into that right now, but I do feel like a lot of times, in society, black people are treated like second-class citizens. Obviously, I think that affects all black people. I think it affects men in a unique way because I'm supposed to be the leader and my woman's supposed to look at me a certain way. And it's kind of hard to balance that when she can see that the world don't even see me as that. Mm-hmm. So how am I trying to get her to buy into this shit? You get what I'm saying? And I think that when people disrespect us who look like us, it's like this, right? Like the world is shitting on me. And a lot of times they don't even have a face to it.
Yeah.
So it's one thing if I go to work and I got this boss, or it might be a white man or whatever the case may be, even as a black person who talking to me a certain way, I can't respond the way I want to. Mm-hmm. But when you do it, I'm gonna take all that shit out on you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a deferred thing, right? I've had students that I taught who go through certain things at home, but they can't respond to their parent the way they want to respond. So they come to school and you another authority figure. I can say what the fuck I want to say to you. You can't whip my ass. You can't kick me out the house. I'm gonna go the fuck off on you. Mm-hmm. Like you play like, and you see, kids at school just taking it to a whole nother level with a teacher, and it's just like she ain't do shit but tell you to stop talking. Why is she talking in class? What the fuck is we talking about? But I think that's that feeling of I feel powerless over here. So when I get a chance to exert this power on somebody, I might overdo it. You know what I'm saying? Another trigger for a lot of black men is feeling overlooked. And I think that has a lot to do with what we just talked about. And it could be in a lot of ways. It could be you having a lot of fucking siblings. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you might feel overlooked as a child. It could be in a classroom. with me feeling, my first feelings of being overlooked were being a student. And I wasn't the smartest student in class who gonna answer all the questions and get all the love from the teacher. I also wasn't I'm not gonna say the dumbest student, but I also wasn't the student who needed the most assistance from the teacher, who got a lot of special one-on-one attention because he couldn't keep up. I wasn't the most athletic kid who got all the love from coaches and shit like that. I just kind of was invisible. I was kind of like average at everything.
Terry say, I ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm in the drawer.
You feel me? So it's easy.
Shorty just called him a butter knife.
so
Get the job done.
it's easy in those situations to feel like overlooked.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that could be a trigger for somebody as well, when it comes down to not being called for your birthday. Or when it comes down to just a lot of different experiences that we have, like, damn, why this person didn't ask me? Or I gave you the advice, you ain't listen to me, then somebody else told you the same shit. Now I'm mad at you because you ain't listen to me when I said it. Like,
bro,
you know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of those, like, that shit can be triggering for a lot of people. A lot of people take that more personal. And well, my thing is just like, what's wrong with a second opinion? If two doctors tell me the same shit, I'm gonna believe it more. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I didn't want to hear it from the first doctor, I'm going to the next doctor hoping he say something different. If he say the same shit, now I'm gonna listen.
Now he just validated you. Like, oh, okay, I just need some confirmation.
But when it happened with our friends, it's like, it's triggering for a lot of people.
You just saying that, my lady, she was telling me about a time. It was the guy she was talking to, and they was in like a it was him, her. I think they might have been at his family member's house.
Yeah.
And they was playing Monopoly or some shit.
Yeah.
And so she with the guy she was with, and she asked like, man, what should I do with something? You know, it was some small advice on what she should do in the game.
Yeah.
Or whatnot. Her guy said something like, you should probably do. She was like, let me think. And then another guy that was also at the event was like, nah, low key, if you grab this property, it'll be a better outcome. And she like, oh, bet, cool, yeah. And so she went with what he said.
Blew the fuck out of him.
Nigga, they left. Nigga, he like went off. Like, why you ain't listen to me? Blah, blah, woo. Like, and it was so triggering. You know what I'm saying? So, and at the time when she was telling me the story, I'm like, man, this nigga tripping. Like, it ain't that deep. But I don't know his triggers. I don't know what is that rooted in. You know what I'm saying? So, that's that overlooked shit. He could probably been overlooked as a kid, or with his previous woman. His opinion probably wasn't valued, and so in that same scenario, his opinion wasn't valued in his face, and he see whose opinion you did value. Yeah, so that was boom.
Shit started early, man. You in class. You don't never know the answer. You finally know the right answer. Raise your hand. She picked that other nigga. It's like, man, you dirty bitch.
That's the only time. That's the only question I knew.
Like, yeah, that's what's had a shine, man. What the fuck? Shit crazy.
Right.
So, another trigger for a common trigger for black men, I feel like, is abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big one, and I think fatherlessness is one I wanted to go into. I think those two kind of could go hand in hand. That's something that I didn't experience, but I did experience my people kicking me out and feeling the level of abandonment. I was a lot older, so it wasn't as deep rooted. I feel like the younger some shit happened, the more,
Deep the root.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think a lot of times abandonment issues show up in different ways. Some people feel like they show up in a way of somebody trying to attach themselves. You know what I'm saying? And like not let people go. And I think that's one thing about it. That's one way it could look. But another way it could look is somebody detaching themselves and they expect you to leave from the day that they meet you. Some of the kids I work with are DCFS kids. And I started to realize over time that the reason why they're so closed off and it's hard for them to open up to me is because they've been in so many programs and met so many different niggas. So I'm not even Terry to you. I'm just another nigga in another program that you finna be in for a few months and then you'll never talk to me again. So why the fuck would I tell you my whole life story?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like those abandonment issues show up in very opposite ways and could be harder to identify, but a lot of people experience that shit.
Ladies, y'all gotta stop joking about when he was saying that shit. Y'all gotta stop joking about that shit too. I see somebody make a funny status on Facebook and they'll be like, yeah, the niggas say, go ahead and leave me like this person, my mama, man.
Yeah.
Say, ooh. This shit is actually happening.
Yeah.
Like that's what he's going through.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of people, like, at the first sign of somebody trying to, it's almost like they don't want to feel like they've been left. So they try to like jump ahead of the shit. You know what I'm saying? So they running from people now because they don't want to feel that feeling of like, you left me, whatever the case may be. And some of my guys growing up in DCFS, like I was talking to a guy that's a mentor, and he grew up in DCFS, never had parents. And he was, before he even said that story, he was talking about DR. And he was talking about how he go to DR 3-4 times a year. Mm-hmm. And he got an apartment in the DR. He don't need no navigation. He be in the DR. And it's funny because we in a meeting. So I'm like, I know we all know what the fuck you in DR for. So everybody like kind of holding their laugh. Like, this nigga's going crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and you know how I feel about the passport bros and shit. You know how I feel about niggas who flying across the country flying across the world to get some pussy. When it's chicks in your city. But when he went on to talk about his history and how he grew up and how he didn't have parents and shit like that, it's just like, damn, this nigga just going with a love at the end of the day, regardless of whether the nigga paying for it or whatever. That nigga feel like he talked about how he, you know, his money go a lot further out there. He live like a king. He go around passing out money to kids and shit. He just going with a love at.
I feel like a lot of them niggas, you damn near might have described all of them. You know what I'm saying? Because I say you described
some of them niggas just want some pussy.
I feel like, with that, it's a small percentage that just want some pussy, but I do feel like, because you got to look at also how these men are. Usually these men are not like of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're not like, you know, kind of semi-hood. They are considered squares or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And maybe the women that they attracted to are urban women. You know what I'm saying? And so they're not getting that attention or appreciation or feeling any sort of value. So they searching for that shit. Over there, women just as fine, all of that, probably whatever, just as fine. And they showing them love. They praising them. They, you know what I'm saying, making them feel like they want to feel.
Yeah.
But a lot of them niggas do want some pussy too. I understand.
Absolutely, man. I don't know. I had this one kid that I was working with DCFS who he was out. So in DCFS is this shit called dead time. And I hope I'm describing this properly. But let's say a kid is 16 and he go to jail for whatever he do. He in DCFS though. And his time is served at, let's say he's 17 and a half, going on 18, whatever the case may be, time served. If they don't have anywhere to place him, he has to stay in jail.
Dang, if you in DCFS,
and
it's time for you to get out of jail.
It's time for you to get out. Is nowhere to place you. You got to stay in jail. It's called dead time. And you know, you in DCFS up until you 21. So you got to be there until they place you somewhere. So the person who owned the company I work with found that out, and he started building apartments to go get those kids out of jail and put them in apartments.
He raw.
You know what I'm saying? So we basically put all these kids. It was the wildest shit in the world. I feel like we should have thought it out differently, but we put all these kids in apartments. We got kids with triple attempt murders and this and that. They don't know each other from different places, and it's like 8 of them in one crib, right? It's 2 apartments. It's 2 4-bedroom apartments. They right across the hall from each other. Shit was wild as fuck. But one of them, you know what I'm saying? He did a lot of dead time, and he was being in DCFS like damn near his whole life. And he met this girl that was down the street, and in 2 weeks he had her name tattooed on her. And I was like,
it'd be shit like that.
But he was like one of the coolest niggas coolest young niggas I've met. I'm just like, it didn't make sense for the rest of his personality.
Yeah.
But dealing with people who never had parents is a whole different ball game. Like, they want to feel love, like, period. Like, he never had a girlfriend before. I think he was locked up since he was like 15 or some shit. Never had a girlfriend before, never had parents. So he was just super in love. And I was almost scared for the girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, if y'all young and if this shit don't work out, I don't know how the fuck he finna react to this. You know what I'm saying? I know what's on his background and shit that he done to some niggas in the streets. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know how the fuck he gonna react to this, you know, situation not working out if it don't work out. So, that shit is scary, bro.
It's those the guys who we hear about when, you know what I'm saying, a nigga flip out and kill a girl or beat her or some shit like that. Yeah. It be guys with those backgrounds. This is a nigga I follow on Instagram, and fitness dude. You know what I'm saying? I respect how he be in the gym, and he seemed single all of this time, whatever. Then he started dating a girl, he posted like them going out and shit. And bro, like maybe a month or two later, nigga, he in a tattoo. He shaved like had like this section of his head and tattooed her face right here. I'm like, he's gonna kill her. if this doesn't work out. On the live, I'm sorry, TikTok.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's crazy, man. Another one, I don't want to go too deep into this one. This is like heavy, but molestation.
Mm-hmm.
That shit goes on a lot, and it don't get talked about. I don't know how much it go on with men, but
A lot.
I know it happened, and I know niggas don't talk about that shit at all. And like even when we try to create spaces for men. That's why it's kind of hard because niggas not finna come talk about a lot of shit that go on, especially with niggas that you don't know in a room. A nigga might go repeat some. You never know. But I know that every woman that I ever dated that I asked if something happened to them when they was a kid, 100% of them have said yes. I've never asked a woman that and they told me no.
Damn.
Never in life, right? And it's not even always the uncle. Sometimes it's like an older female cousin. Sometimes it's a guy. Sometimes it might be a guy. Sometimes it might be a girl. It's always somebody who either they trusted or your parents trusted you to be with this person or be around this person, whatever the case may be. And some of the situations is things that they was too young to not know was wrong, and they might have participated in it, and then they got older and realized like this shit was wild as fuck. Some of it is just straight forceful or coercion or whatever the case may be. But we hear about it when it comes to girls. We don't hear about it when it comes to boys. Kendrick Lamar made a song about it called Mother I Sober. That was the first time I ever heard a rapper talk about the shit. But yeah, I don't even know what to say about it.
It was maybe I saved it. I was on Facebook and I seen a status that said something about men being molested. And nigga, it went viral, and you just saying, I said guys who was molested. How old were you and how old was she? And it was just thousands of comments. I was 12, she was 30. I was 10, she was this, that, and it was a lot. It was a bunch of guys, so that shit definitely be happening. And I didn't even process. To this day, technically speaking, I got molested when I was 12 with the girl who was 30.
I don't want to say that. I was finna say that. I was like, well, you got molested. I don't want to say that. I was like, let him bring up his go ahead, though.
This nigga hell, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Don't you?
Yeah.
But nah, like when I was 12 and Shorty was like 30, that's considered being molested.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So niggas don't even process that they were.
Did you peep the assumption in that question though?
What?
How old were you and how old was she?
Assuming it was
The assumption that it was a woman.
Yeah, I didn't peep that.
There'd be some wild shit going on out here. One of the kids that I worked with, the closest my whole career. I mean, this was when I was a teacher. He was the baddest kid in the school I worked at. It was a bad school. This nigga was phenomenally bad. It was
phenomenally
crazy.
bad.
Like this nigga was taking shit. The nigga was like in 6th grade ordering Ubers just leaving school when he felt like it. He was doing crazy shit. And he was really bad. And I took him, I put him in the boxing program. And even that, he was like bad to the bone though. Like he wasn't faking. You know what I'm saying? Like
This is who he is.
like that's who the fuck he was. Like one time we was leaving the program and he was pissed because of some shit that happened in practice. And it was like, this nigga's like 11 or 12. It was like some big ass teenagers. You know, teenagers big as shit. These niggas bigger than me.
Yeah.
Like there was like 2 or 3 of them. They had a hoop. So they was some big ass niggas. And they was looking at him. He was kind of like looking mad. And I guess one of them looked at him. He went the fuck off. Like, what the fuck is y'all niggas looking at? And started smacking shit over, knocking shit over. I'm like, shorty ass really like, he's really bad. Like, you know, he's not like picking his fights. Like he don't give a fuck. And he had a lot of anger issues. One time that shit kind of boiled over. He like was like in the closet, like scratching the skin off his face, all type of crazy shit. But all the girls liked him. Fresh ass, pretty boy type kid. And his mom had told me that he was that, you know, some shit happened to him when he was a shorty with his uncle. And that he questioned himself a lot because of that. He questioned his sexuality a lot. He had a little brother that was the second baddest kid in school. Like, this nigga was terrible.
This
like,
is hereditary.
And they hated each other. I've never seen brothers act that way to each other. Like they would like full on fight in the backseat of my car. Like they hated each other, like for real. and they was probably like 3 years apart, and maybe 4 years apart. And the brother, when they got married, the brother would always call him gay. The little brother, he'd go to fuck off. Like he would be trying to like beat this nigga, like for real. And I'm like, you know, his mama told me why that bothered him so much, and it was fucked up that the little brother, like, he don't know no better, but he know what happened. He using it against him and shit like that. I just went to New York a couple weeks ago. I saw him in the airport, like the kid. Right? Yeah, I swear to God, I saw him in the airport. And before I saw him, I'm still in contact with other kids that I taught at that time. They told me that he was gay or whatever. They told me, like, oh, he came out, you know what I'm saying, he gay, whatever the case may be. He's still cool, whatever. But I saw him in the airport, and he was with a girl who was like in his class at that time. I'm kind of like, y'all like 18? What the fuck is y'all doing in the airport? Like, it was just them two, like going to New York, right? And you know, he was gay. Like, he was like very flamboyant, like very out, like, you know, shit like that. So I had never seen him like that, obviously, you know. And when we was leaving Chicago, I kind of just was like, I ain't say nothing to him, you know what I'm saying? I kind of whatever. And then when we got off the flight, you know, when it was at baggage claim, I was kind of waiting on him to come out the bathroom so I could holler at him, just, you know, let him know, you know, whatever like that. And when I walked up to him, he just straightened up, like immediately. Just started talking like, oh, what up? What up, Mr. Matthew? I saw you over there. Ooh, everything, I'll go. Ooh. And he didn't really leave space for a real conversation, but I wanted to say to him so bad, like, bro, it's cool. Like, this is the happiest I ever seen you. Like, I've known you since you was a little kid. Like, I've never seen you this happy. Like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Just be you. But, like, he hid it so hard from me that I didn't even want to, like, call it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like that shit could really fuck with people's whole life, bro. Like, damn. You know what I'm saying? But I am happy that he because, like, niggas really be fighting that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas really be fighting that shit. Shit crazy. The last one I want to talk about is powerlessness. Right? So I brought that up earlier, but powerlessness is an emotion that I never heard of till about a couple months ago. I never identified it as an emotion. It shows up as anger in a lot of people. But powerlessness is basically being the feeling of you can't do anything to change your situation. You can't do anything to help yourself at a given point in time. So I had this one kid I was working with, for example, who used to go the fuck off on women in the building when I was a teacher. And they used to try to do dumb shit to like cope with the shit. And they would like order him like KFC for lunch. Like, if you don't go the fuck off on us today, we'll buy you lunch. And it was dumb as fuck because at the lunch didn't come in time. Now he finna blow the fucking building up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit was bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. So I was like, why the fuck would y'all even start this dumb shit? Like, you know, instead of just holding them accountable and you rewarding bad behavior, it was crazy. So one day he went off on the teacher and he punched the computer screen and it broke. And the teacher was scared. He was threatening to kill her and all type of stuff like that. She was scared. And, you know, the teacher kind of like, hey, it's him or me. Y'all gonna get him the fuck out the classroom, or I'm not teaching him no more, whatever the case may be. In those situations, the kid always win. Like, this is just because of how Chicago public schools work and whatever the case may be. And that particular day, they called his mom to come get him from school early. And when his mom got to the school, she was like, you bitch, da-da-da-da. Like, she was going to fuck off on him. Like, as they walked home, she smacking them, calling them bitches and this and that. And the next day, he was on a football team, super fucking athletic. That's the other thing. He was super fucking athletic, big, fast as shit, all of that, right? So he was on a football team, and me and him had words, and he threatened me. So I told everybody to get out the gym room, and it was just me and him, and I'm like, fuck is going on? Like, what you really want to do for real? And he just got to talking, marching back and forth, and I was like, hey, let's like be real with me. Like, where all this shit come from? Like, I saw you and your OG talking the other day. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on for real? And he like, man, she be woo and she don't love you. She da-da-da-da. And I'm like, do you feel like you go off on your teachers because you can't say shit to your mom? You know what I'm saying? And he like, yeah. And that's why it was typically the women that he was having the issues with, because this is another female authority figure. But I'm gonna say shit. I'm gonna say everything to you that I wish I could have said to my mom as soon as you tell me to sit down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he would just go the fuck off, you know? So usually it's like a delayed reaction. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel bad in this situation, so when I get the chance to take it out on something else, I will.
I ain't gonna lie. When you said you made everybody leave the gym,
Yeah.
I thought you was gonna piece his ass up.
Nah, I ain't gonna hit the kid.
I'm thinking, bro, like, all right, come on, let's get it. I'm like, oh,
I mean, that's what it was. That's how I presented it. But it's like I knew we wasn't gonna do shit for real. Like we on stage, he
Nah, for
performing.
sure.
Like I know what the fuck going on. Like I knew we wasn't gonna do nothing. But we didn't really have a real problem. Like you know what I'm saying?
I had a shout out to First Sergeant Harper, CVS. He did what you did, but he'd have whooped your ass.
I had to whip his ass.
He was ready to like.
I knew I wasn't gonna have to whip his ass.
It wasn't no motivational speech. Like, nah, you just talking all that shit in the hallway. Let's go, son. Hit me. It wasn't no. What's going on at home? He finna beat your ass.
No. It's crazy, man. Look though, it's another shorty though I'm working with right now, right? It's a kid I'm working with now, and he had a situation, and I asked him to kind of like break down everything that went on, like leading up to the situation. He basically got caught for a stolen car. You know what I'm saying? I asked him like what happened, what led up to that happening today, and he was able to like recount the whole day. He basically was telling me like, man, my parents, they buy juice and snacks and shit with the groceries, but they put it in their closet. They don't let us have access to it at all. You know what I'm saying? Like they just keep that shit to themselves and then let us get like the regular groceries and shit like that. And he's like, he don't like that shit. And it's other trauma, it's other like shit behind this. So it's like, it don't just start here. This is just what broke the straw that broke the camel's back. So he go out with his own money, go buy some snacks, go buy some juice and shit from the store. He come back to the crib with it, open his Arizona, drink some of it, put it in the refrigerator, go across the street to kick it, come back. This shit like gone. You know what I'm saying? He pissed. So he go in his room, turn the music on, playing the game, whatever the case may be. They come and then turn your music down. He don't want to turn the music down because he mad. OG snatched the game, take the game out of his room. You know what I'm saying? He go the fuck off on his OG. He leave the crib just angry. You know what I'm saying? Now again, this is like, it's hella shit before this, but this is just what happened today. And he mad, so he walking down the street, walking past a grocery store. It's a running car. It's a car that's just running. You know what I'm saying? Nobody in the car. He jump in the car and pull off. So this is making him feel in control of something. This is making him feel powerful. Like somebody took my shit, I'm taking somebody's shit. You know what I'm saying? Driving around in the car, police get behind him, he going to high speed, he T-bone the 80-year-old man. Right? Get jammed up for it. Now, you know the juvenile court system a joke. The nigga was right out. But that was how, again, it was like a deferred reaction. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody did this to me. I couldn't do shit about it. So now I'm finna do something to somebody else. And I think that that's like an emotion that, you know, we should pay more attention to, all of us in our own lives. Because I think we all gonna, you know, we dealing with capitalism on top of all the other shit we dealing with. So we all gonna feel powerless at different moments. We all gonna be in situations at time that we can't, you know, dictate the outcome. You know what I'm saying? Like shit just happened the way it happened. A nigga did a hit and run on my car and the car insurance was like, nigga, fuck you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it happened. Like you feel powerless in that situation. You on the phone with the nigga and he telling you like, well, no, we not covering it. Like you wanna kill this nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? But but it's like, okay, how do you handle that emotion? Like where does that, like, so this anger that's built up by the fact that this nigga on the phone telling me they not gonna cover my car, and the adjuster the nigga who trying to fix it telling me this shit gonna be $5 to fix this car. You know what I'm saying? And I still owe a car note on the car every month. And this nigga like, nah, we ain't fixing your shit. What do I do with that anger? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's very important to be conscious that, like, I feel a way about this. I need to do something with this energy. Because if I'm not conscious about that, later I'm on the phone with my girl and she say some shit wrong and I'm going to fuck off on her. But I'm really mad at the nigga who denied me the insurance claim.
Nigga, you just brought a real life. That literally happened to me.
You want to fuck off on your girl?
No.
No.
Not the car shit. I remember that December 16th when my wheel was turned all in. I shot that video. I was so mad, but you couldn't see it externally. It wasn't shit I could do about it. Dude, like my insurance was on bullshit. I just had to be out of pocket. I think it was about $3,000 or $4,000, and I was mad as hell. But it was like, you gotta look like, what the fuck can I do right now? I just went into my savings that I didn't want to go in, pay for my shit, and just had to fucking move on. Yeah. Like sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's nothing you can do. Sometimes it's just. Sometimes you're gonna take L's, man. You're gonna take L's. You got to learn how to take those L's and not make your situation worse. You know what I'm saying? By losing your anger, losing your, you know what I'm saying, control, not being emotionally intelligent, not emotionally intelligent, but controlling your emotions in those situations. Sometimes you're gonna lose. It is what it is. Like, you're not gonna get through this bitch it's just straight highs. You have to learn how to accept loss.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it ain't a lesson. Sometimes the shit is just a loss. I don't even like that. Like, that's like sugarcoating, you know what I'm saying, the trials and tribulations you're gonna go through in life. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it ain't a loss, it ain't a lesson. No, it's probably just a loss. And that's okay too.
Some losses just be losses.
Some losses is just a loss. It ain't no reason, it ain't no deep spiritual. Nigga, you lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Move on.
For sure. So I think that you just spoke on you identifying like powerlessness is a trigger for you in that particular situation. Is there any other like triggers that you feel like you have?
And when you say, and let's because when you hear trigger, right? Well, that's not how you described it with your story, but I feel like maybe that's just me. But when I hear trigger and you hear somebody get triggered, my brain goes to seeing them react in a violent way or seeing them flip out.
No, that's not necessarily. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's how I was even perceiving it myself. But you can be triggered, and it's just an emotion that you feel.
Yeah, a
strong emotion that you feel. So, another trigger, I guess. Well, that was the first time. Hopefully that shit don't happen again. But when the girl I was dating, when she said bitch, she called me a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I guess if that was to happen again, that would be a trigger, and my trigger would be I would be gone like immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm pretty sure that would trigger me. You know what I'm saying? So, another trigger of a situation, I don't know. Because again, I'm not trying to sound like I'm this, just super stoic person, but
I mean, just think of shit that you just couldn't get over. You know what I'm saying? Like, prime example, I think it was me, you, and Jody at the beach. Yeah. That was the only time I ever seen you mad at me.
Right. Look, that was only. I swear, all my close guy friends, they've all only seen me like on 10 like once because I be smooth. But what was that about? I think it was. No. I know what it was about. What was it about with me? Like,
and it's a difference. I'm glad you said that.
It's a difference. Like it was. What was it about with me? Why did that trigger me so much? And the situation for y'all. Me and bro, we was outside summertime. We was setting up, you know what I'm saying? We out here positive, selling merch. We just, doing our thing. We was on we was at the beach about 63rd or whatnot. And we set it up in a place where like foot traffic was coming. You know what I'm saying? And it was a good spot or whatnot. And we ain't bother nobody, cool. The guy that worked in the restaurant, he comes out and he like, y'all gotta move. You know what I'm saying? Just out of nowhere. Yeah. He felt like we were taking his customers. Nigga, you sell food, we sell clothes.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Nigga's not gonna eat this t-shirt, bro. You know what I'm saying? What you talking about?
So he got on bullshit. I think he went to go tell 12, right?
Yeah.
Or he went to go 12. We seen him.
He told the owner.
The owner.
Who already told us it was okay.
Right. There you go.
That's really what it was.
Owner told us it was cool, but then we see him go back to the owner. I don't know if he saw us seeing him. But he go back to the owner and he's we see you, see me, saw you. You know what I'm saying? So he go back to the owner and he like basically complaining or whatever. Owner comes back to us like, okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got to move around, whatever the case may be. And he walked out or whatever. And he was looking, I said something to him, but he was acting like he didn't do what he just did. He was acting like he didn't just go complain again. And that pissed me off. Like, nigga, stand on what you just said. Like, not you just told, stand on what you just, I wanted to slap the shit out of him. And I don't like.
Yeah. And I think that it can show you this is a trigger because I'm there too, Jody there too.
None
of us liked it, but we did. It pissed you the fuck off.
It
like,
did.
you know what I'm saying? All of us was like, oh, this bitch ass nigga, but you was like hot though.
I was ready to slap this nigga. Cause like you look at me dead in my face like, nah, I ain't do that. You know what I'm saying? The owner said y'all gotta go. Now you play. I also felt like he was playing with my intelligence as well.
Right.
And I didn't appreciate the fact, like, you being a bitch, stand on what you just did, whatever. I wanted to put hands on him that day.
So why did that trigger you? Let's do it. Let's figure it out.
I feel like the biggest thing was you was playing with my intelligence. You were
Playing with your
gaslighting
intelligence.
me in that moment.
Yeah.
You were making it seem like I didn't see you do what you just did. You were saying, hey man, the owner said y'all gotta go. Nigga, owner said we can stay. Then we saw you go back to the owner and complain. So now you trying to make it seem like what I know to happen didn't happen.
For sure.
So that was triggering.
Facts.
And all of that. So
Who the first person that ever made you feel that way?
get y'all therapist ass out. Let me see who the first person who gaslighted me. I don't know, probably a woman.
Who though? I mean, or just one person you ever think that made you feel like stop fucking, like stop trying to play
playing
like
with
I'm
me?
dumb. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Like, I know what I know. Like, don't try to make it.
I think it could have been my BM.
Okay.
My son mama.
All right. What was the situation?
When I found out that she was like on the phone with another nigga or some shit, or
The day when you flew across with the Monte Carlo and all that?
Yeah, that day.
Yeah. Y'all gotta go back to the whole episode. So I don't even know which episode it is.
But yeah, it was that, and I heard the conversation, and she, no, I wasn't. Woo. And I'm like, you trying to make it seem like I'm crazy right now? I know what the fuck I heard. So I guess that's the underlining feeling.
Yeah.
But I get like, I don't know. That situation, that was so, I don't think nothing of that situation today. That situation's funny to me today.
I don't think nothing of my mama slapped me in my ribbon bender today. But like, you know what I'm saying?
Where it comes from.
Yeah, that's where it started. Like,
Okay.
like that first time that somebody make you feel that way, and it just means something different to you than everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When somebody play with you like that. So, I think that's important to know, man. But, some tips for dealing with triggers, identifying triggers, figuring out different things. Number one, self-reflection, because that's really what we just did. Self-reflection, thinking about, because it's not like a lot of times when people do stuff wrong to us, we don't think about ourselves at all because we're not wrong.
Yeah.
Like that person just did what they did. Fuck them. That's it. But you're not gonna analyze yourself over someone else's wrongdoing in most cases. But it's still important to do it because it's not about forgiving that person or letting that person back in your life. It's just about understanding why you feel how you feel, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? If it's fuck that person, it's still that. But I think self-reflection, which is what we just did, is an important part of that. Go ahead.
Nigga, this whole self-reflection, I'm thinking about it the other time I flipped out. I'm like, I wanted to do that shit.
You want to slap people, Reggie?
Over the last 10 years, maybe 2 or 3.
All right. So what's the other one? I think you told me about Hooters or something like that, right?
No,
Restaurant?
he put his hands on me, so that's warranted. Whatever that is.
Right.
Yeah, anybody doing that. But now it was another situation where I was in the gym and I just got finished working out. And this is on 8th and State. That gym so fucking, I'm at Export. And they got like a little protein bar area down there. So it was me, Capo, and another nigga that we that was the first time. And me and Capo, we had probably been cool for maybe 6-7 years. He never even seen me angry. He seen me how you saw me that day.
Right.
So we downstairs in the lobby or whatnot, and I'm a respectful dude. I respect everybody. I've been like that, you know what I'm saying, for the longest. So I order I'm like, yeah, bro, let me get a large protein shake, chocolate protein shake with peanut butter. And he looked at me, he like, we ain't got no peanut butter. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, okay, well, all right, bro, let me just get the chocolate shake or whatnot. And then he back there making it. Somebody else walks up and he say, how can I help you? And it was a dude, it wasn't a woman. He like, yeah, let me get a chocolate protein shake with peanut butter. The nigga pulled out a tub of peanut butter. Bro, it was a gallon of peanut butter. Bro,
The biggest peanut butter you ever seen in your life.
I never seen peanut butter that big before.
It's like a Dave Chappelle skit, bro. Like,
Bro, the nigga put a gallon of peanut butter on top of the thing. I go off. I'm trying to get my hand. I'm trying to beat his ass. Bro, what the fuck?
he wanted his ass whipped that day, G. That's
Whip
crazy.
his ass. And
And somebody looking at that be like, these niggas in fight over peanut butter.
right. Like, what the fuck? What would you on with me? Like, why did you just, like, what happened?
Yeah. But I think that go into, like, what would we say that is? That go into, that kind of like being overlooked. a little bit.
Overlooked.
Yeah.
There we go.
Being overlooked.
I felt overlooked in that moment.
Yeah. So that's crazy. But it's crazy because a lot of people will be like, all these niggas fighting over peanut butter. Some people be like, oh, no, it's the principle.
It's the principle.
But it's really about who you are and how you see yourself and how you feel like other people see you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or feeling like other people don't see you. You know what I'm saying? So that shit really be
Right. Look, and that's the worst. That's the worst. Bro said he thought you was a goofy. And that's the word. Like that's a culture thing in Chicago. Nigga, that's the last thing you want to be.
Yeah.
You ain't finna make me feel like a goofy. You ain't finna call me a goofy. You ain't finna treat me like a goofy. Yeah. Like all of those are crash out justifiable moments in culture. Now I'm not saying those are justifiable things, but niggas will crash out in our culture for feeling like being treated like or looked at as a goofy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably a good, at least 80% of niggas that's in jail is in there because they couldn't control their reaction in a given situation. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, they say journaling is a good way to identify your triggers. That's something that I don't do. I think this is kind of like journaling.
I journal. I've actually journal like a lot, but I don't. I'm not sure if I'm I'm not identifying triggers in those like moments. Like my journaling, it just be reflection, my current thoughts. My journaling actually would be prayer. Like I'll be writing this. If you was to read it, like think you just prayed pretty much, but on paper, and that's the form of journaling.
You ever go back and read them?
No.
You probably should.
No. I don't want to yet. I don't want to yet. It's I think about it. I know what I wrote down, but I feel like if the closer it is, like if it's some old shit, I'll go back and look to see how far I came. But if it's like some shit from 3-4 months ago, like I don't want to relive it, especially if it was something that, maybe I was still going through, was hurt about, whatever. But like some old shit, yeah, I'll reflect.
Yeah, I think it's dope, man. Like, even going back for me listening to old podcasts from like 2021, it'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah, you was a wild boy.
Yeah.
Nah, niggas want to go past that. Yeah. Oh, anyway.
Another thing to identify triggers is like your physical sensations. That's something I think we all should pay more attention to. So like when you get triggered, like your emotions have a real physical consequence in your body, which is crazy. But we all feel it like, you could be finna fight a motherfucker. You might get a certain feeling in your stomach. You might start sweating. Your palms might get hot, whatever. And certain people can identify those. Like, do you know what happens to you when you get triggered, like physically?
Yeah. So if it's if it's a situation and I'm finna fight and I'm just defending myself, that's a different feeling versus I'm pissed. Like if I'm pissed, I'm beating your ass. Right. But if I gotta it's like, oh shit, what's going on? It's a different feeling. It's maybe like anxiety or maybe like heart racing. Like, oh shit, like senses is heightened. But in other non-violent situations where I get triggered, it could be like, heart racing or sweaty hands or something like that.
Yeah. So it's crazy how like the way you feel and some shit happening visually or something that you hear, you be on the phone with somebody, has a real physical consequence in your body. It can make your breathing speed up. It can make your heart rate speed up. It could attack your nervous system and make you like, that feeling you get when you're on a roller coaster and all of that. Mm-hmm. It's crazy because like when I'm finna spar, for example, I feel like that every time. Like,
damn, you be sparring a lot.
I can spar a nigga who I beat up every day. I'm gonna have the same feeling if I get in the ring of nerve. I'm gonna be like, have this anxious feeling like every time. It don't matter. It could be the weakest nigga in the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel. I got an argument with a woman and have that exact same feeling. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I know like I'm triggered. Like this is going beyond a space where I feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's important to know what that physical sensation is for yourself, so you could know when you trigger. Like you could identify like mentally, like, all right, I'm triggered, and then kind of like rethink. You know what I'm saying? Like what your next steps is to get out that situation.
You can feel like pressure on your chest.
Yeah, it's a lot of different things for different people. Like a lot of people get the sweaty hands. I never got sweaty hands before. I could get hot at times. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that should be crazy. But also, man, coping strategies in them situations. Mine is just deep breathing. If I could control my breathing, I'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like taking 4 deep breaths. Mm-hmm. That's really the only thing that keep me calm in them situations. Whether I'm feeling, and that's why I talk about like the mental benefits and emotional benefits of boxing so much, because that's where I practice that shit at. You know what I'm saying? So if I got that same feeling when I'm finna spar this nigga and I could calm myself down, I could calm myself down in this argument. You know what I'm saying? I could calm myself down when I'm finna in the street finna get into it, a nigga, whatever case may be. It's kind of like practice for regulating my emotions. It's not even about the fight and shit for real. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So deep breathing is big for me. Count down helps some people. Yeah, you ever do that?
No, I don't count down. I don't deep breathe, but disengaging.
Yeah.
That's a big one for me, yeah.
Absolutely. Walking
I
away.
just remove myself.
That shit can save your life.
Yeah.
Another one for me is visualization. If I got the space to do that, like literally visualize, and visualization is like visualizing yourself somewhere else, but like every sense that you have. Like if I visualize myself like in Miami on the beach, it's not like I'm just thinking about myself in Miami on the beach. I'm thinking about what do I feel? I can feel my toes in the sand. I can hear the water. You know what I'm saying? I can hear the music in the background. Like I can smell the fucking churros. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not mentally here right now. Like I'm somewhere else. Like that can help a lot if you sit in a situation.
And that's a process too. I don't want y'all to, you know, like especially if you hearing this right now, you probably picking, I'm gonna try that. I want to use some realistic expectations. If you in that, you know, heated moment and you feeling that strong of emotion and you sit down and try to think about Miami, you're not gonna snap right into, you know, zen. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta. I think the quickest way is controlling your breathing, like focusing on breathing deep breaths.
It's big for
me. Then, you know what I'm saying, maybe thinking about other things. So it's a process to, you know, go from here to here. It's so crazy. You can be calm as fuck and shoot up to 100, but it take a minute to come from 100 back to where you was at.
Yeah. This is like water. It's easy to heat up water than it is to cool it down. That's crazy. But I remember like TJ was telling me when he was locked up and he acted out Harlem Nights from start to finish, shit like that. So that's like visualization. You know what I'm saying? But man, outside of that, man, just kind of wrapping up this identifying triggers conversation, man. It's obviously a lot of benefits to being able to identify your triggers, whether that be in your romantic relationships, whether that be in the streets as a man, whether that be at a parent-teacher conference when the teacher kind of tweaking with your kid or your kid tweaking with the teacher, whatever the case may be. It's very important to be able to identify your triggers, but it's equally important in every situation because the shit will keep you free, for one. But also in those romantic relationships, it's important to know that even though this person triggered you, they didn't create the trigger. You know what I'm saying? So they may have done something that really bothered you, and it's their fault that they did it, but it's not that their fault that this bothers you as much as it bothers you. Like they didn't create this sensitivity that you have to this thing. If they keep doing it, obviously you probably need to disassociate yourself with that person, especially romantically. But you also know that whether you deal with this person or not, this is some shit that you need to work on and that you need to be aware of with yourself. You got anything on that? Yeah, that's it. You got AMP?
For sure. Since we talking about triggers, I want to go with, because it's different, you know, triggers in relationships, triggers in at your job, trigger, you know, a lot of different places, but I want to talk about maybe the most common place where black men can be triggered, and that's just out and about, you know what I'm saying, or a night partying. Yeah. And that goes back to what I always learned, you know, never stop thinking. So if you get triggered and you outside, like you are in a position to do whatever you want to do. It's not like at work where you got to control it. It's not like with your girl, you can't, you know what I'm saying, do certain things. You outside, nigga step on your shoe or disrespect you, whatever the case may be. And you feel like this is an opportunity, and who knows what you've been dealing with throughout the week, in your personal life, whatever. Who knows what you got stored inside of you, and you outside and you get triggered and you instantly react versus thinking. You could change your life in that moment. You know what I'm saying? You could be in a bar or whatever. I've seen plenty of situations where men is in bars or lounges or any establishment, and you know what I'm saying, somebody do something and you wanna fight them, and then you get outside, somebody gets their car first and you fucking die, or you know what I mean, you shoot at somebody, now you in jail. Like it's a chain effect, you know what I'm saying, getting triggered. So just want to implore y'all to stop for a minute and think. Yeah, you could be triggered, especially the best place you gotta you know, practice that self-control is when there ain't no limitations on you getting triggered. Like when it's just a free for all, when it's everything is in your hands, you really want to kind of use all your strength to make the right decision. You know what I'm saying? So don't crash out over little shit. You know what I'm saying, when you out and about.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is when we talk about masculinity, we talk about strength. I think that's a big part of masculinity, is being strong, whether it be physically strong, mentally strong. Like that shit just go hand in hand. I think that we need to look at strength is something that's not rooted in force, but in resistance and restraint. You know what I'm saying? And I think that could help a lot of people. And measuring your strength by how you can not react versus then how much damage you can do to a person or a thing.
One thing I find funny, the niggas who go to the gym, they catch this the worst. But if you look like swole or muscles or whatever, and you know what I'm saying, niggas instant reaction, nigga, I'll shoot your ass. But the niggas who like look the biggest and all of that, they actually got like a lot of restraint. It may have started out that way. Maybe they wanted to get big to hurt somebody because they got hurt or whatever. But the more you I guess box, or the more you work out and you get yourself to a certain place, you got a lot of self-control now. Like you're not walking, them niggas ain't walking around looking to see who they could beat up. You know what I'm saying?
And even on a physical level, when you think about strength when it comes to force versus restraint, it's easier to lift a weight than control it coming down.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you really strong, like we could lift a dumbbell like this, but if you could like drop that bitch slow, that's the stronger person is more rooted in resistance than in force. So that's it, man. That's all we got.
That's it.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, say your shit.
What?
Yeah, say the shoot shit.
You got to say what you say.
I'm on a gas.
Hey man, happy birthday to me. No. Anybody out there that's chasing anything in life, man, always, keep your foot on the gas. 1,000 miles, head of steam, all that. Yeah, go ahead.
Shoot, man. Happy birthday, bro.
We out.